From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 30th, 2020. A rocket was fired from Gaza at southern Israel yesterday. It landed in an open area and no damage or injury was caused. In response to that attack and to gunfire earlier today at IDF surveillance equipment along the Gaza border, as well as to several incendiary balloons recently launched at Israel, the IDF said Israeli aircraft and tanks struck Hamas terror targets in Gaza, including a weapons manufacturing site and underground infrastructure. Israel police said they will station additional officers on and around the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City for Muslim prayers tomorrow at the holy site as a precautionary measure after the U.S. peace plan's announcement on Tuesday. Yesterday, 2 Palestinians were arrested after they were found armed with a knife. Police said they planned to carry out a stabbing attack on police officers at the Temple Mount. And there have been protests and riots in the West Bank and Gaza against the plan over the last few days, continuing today. Meanwhile, Blue and White Chairman Benny Gantz said he would bring the U.S. peace plan before the Knesset next week for a vote. Gantz said this is a historic opportunity to draw Israel's future borders, adding that the peace plan is consistent with the fundamental principles outlined in Blue and White's platform. Israel's Channel 12 reported that Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas sent an emergency delegation yesterday to meet with Israeli officials over the U.S. peace plan. The group reportedly met with Israel's Finance Minister Moshe Kahlon, saying that they see the plan as voiding the Oslo peace accords and that the Palestinians feel they are free to break their commitments, including security cooperation with Israel. President Abbas on Tuesday adamantly rejected the U.S. peace plan. He told senior Palestinian leaders, including representatives of Hamas and Islamic Jihad at the PA presidential headquarters in Ramallah, "We say 1,000 times no and no and no to the deal of the century, saying the plan will not come to pass and that our people will send it to the dustbins of history." The Israeli-American woman who received a highly excessive jail sentence in Russia and was seen as many as a pawn is free. 27-year-old Naama Issachar landed back in Israel today, accompanied by her mother and by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah. As we have been reporting to you, Issachar was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for less than 10 grams of marijuana that was found in her luggage that she claims wasn't hers during a layover in Moscow last year. She was pardoned yesterday by Russian President Vladimir Putin after continued requests from the Prime Minister. Landing at Ben Gurion Airport today, Issachar thanked everyone for their support, saying she was still in a state of shock over the whole affair. The American Jewish Committee has a new Arabic language video series to inform and educate about Jews and Judaism. CEO David Harris said this new initiative offers us an unprecedented opportunity to reach those in the Arab world who may never have a chance to meet a Jew, including the many millions of young people who may be curious to hear a Jewish perspective on the subjects they encounter on social media. Through the series An al-Yahud, or About the Jews, Harris said the AJC hopes for deeper ties between Jews and Arabs in the future. Yeshiva University's men's basketball team was ranked in the Division III Top 25, their first national ranking ever. The Maccabees ranked number 24 in the D3Hoops.com poll released this week. The top 25 is voted on by a panel of 25 coaches, sports information directors, and reporters across the country. Well, with Tu B'Shvat, the Jewish holiday for the trees, coming up next month, the Jewish National Fund, Keren Kayemet LeIsrael, launched a new online way for people to plant trees in Israel. Click and plant. For every tree purchased, KKL-JNF will plant an additional tree along the border with Gaza to help shield Israeli communities from Gaza rockets. The organization is aiming to plant 100,000 trees along the border. Tu B'Shvat begins the eve of February the 9th. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, January the 30th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study. At 8, Israel's former ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, talks about the relationship between American Jewry and Israel. Then at 9, the strengths and weaknesses of the U.S. peace plan are analyzed by Stephen Boehm of the AJC, former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Danny Ayalon, Eric Mandel of the Middle East Political Information Network, and JBS's Senior Vice President Shachar Azani, with Mark Golub. And at 10:30 tonight, a look at the faces of Israel from the AJC's 2018 Global Forum. And coming up right after this newscast, it's Election Arena. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 30th, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader.